Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun have finally said their vows, and the entire world is in awe of the love they share. Before we get into the heartwarming details of their wedding, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the latest updates on your favorite stars. This is not just another celebrity wedding. It is a love story that has touched millions, and their vows to each other have melted hearts everywhere. Fans have followed their journey from co-stars to real-life soulmates, and seeing them take this next step is nothing short of magical. The wedding was an intimate yet grand affair, attended by close friends, family, and a few select industry colleagues. The moment Lee Min-ho walked down the aisle, looking handsome in his custom tuxedo, everyone could feel the deep emotions in the air. But it was when Kim Go-eun entered, dressed in an ethereal white gown, that the entire venue seemed to hold its breath. She was glowing with happiness, her eyes filled with love as she looked at the man she was about to marry. Lee Min-ho's gaze never left her, and it was clear that in his eyes, she was the most beautiful woman in the world. As the ceremony began, there was an undeniable warmth that spread throughout the venue. The couple stood hand in hand, facing each other, their emotions barely contained. When it was time for their vows, everyone knew this would be the most touching moment of the night. Lee Min-ho took a deep breath, his eyes locked onto Kim Go-eun's, and began speaking from his heart. He started by reminiscing about the first time they met, how he never expected that one day, this woman standing before him would change his life forever. His voice was steady, yet filled with so much sincerity that many in the audience were already dabbing at their eyes. He spoke about how Kim Go-eun had brought light into his life, how her laughter was the music that played in his heart, and how every moment spent with her felt like a scene from the most beautiful love story. He confessed that he had always believed in love, but he never truly understood what it meant until he met her. She had taught him that love wasn't just about grand gestures or perfect moments. It was about the little things, the quiet support, the unwavering trust, and the simple joy of being together. He thanked her for loving him on his best days and staying by his side on his worst. His voice wavered slightly as he admitted that he couldn't imagine his life without her, and that from this day forward he vowed to cherish her, to protect her, and to love her with everything he had. Kim Go-eun was already tearing up, and when it was her turn to speak, she could barely contain her emotions. She began by calling Lee Min-ho her best friend, her partner, and the love of her life. She spoke about how he had always made her feel safe, how his presence alone could turn a bad day into a good one. She confessed that she had never imagined that love could feel this deep, this certain, until she met him. She recalled the moments they had shared, the late-night conversations, the quiet walks, the laughter that filled their days. She spoke about how he had always believed in her, even when she doubted herself, and how his love had given her the courage to be her true self. She vowed to stand by his side through every challenge, to celebrate every victory with him, and to create a lifetime of happiness together. Her voice was soft yet powerful, carrying the weight of all the love she had for him. The guests were visibly moved, many wiping away tears as they listened to the couple pour their hearts out to each other. Even the officiant had to take a moment before proceeding with the ceremony. When the vows were complete, Lee Min-ho gently wiped away Kim Go-eun's tears before taking her hands once more. As they exchanged rings, there was a collective feeling of pure joy in the air, as if everyone present was witnessing something truly special. When they were pronounced husband and wife, the entire venue erupted in cheers. Lee Min-ho didn't hesitate. He pulled Kim Go-eun into his arms and kissed her with all the love in his heart. It was a kiss that spoke of promises, of a future filled with love, and of a bond that could never be broken. As they turned to face their guests, their smiles radiant, it was clear that this was only the beginning of their forever. The reception was just as breathtaking as the ceremony. The newlyweds shared their first dance, swaying to a soft melody that seemed to be made just for them. They laughed, whispered to each other, and held on to every moment as if time itself had slowed down. Their happiness was contagious, and everyone present could feel the love between them. Friends and family gave heartfelt speeches, recalling fond memories and sharing their joy for the couple. Lee Min-ho's close friends spoke about how he had always been someone who gave his all to the people he loved, and that seeing him with Kim Go-eun proved just how deeply he had found his match. Kim Go-eun's loved ones spoke about how she had always been someone who loved with her whole heart, and how Lee Min-ho had brought out a side of her that was even more radiant. When it was time for Lee Min-ho to give his toast, he stood with his glass raised and spoke directly to Kim Go-eun. He told her that she was the best thing that had ever happened to him, and that he would spend every day making sure she knew just how loved she was. He promised that their love story would only get better with time, and that no matter what challenges came their way, they would always face them together. Kim Go-eun, smiling through tears, clinked her glass against his before wrapping her arms around him in a loving embrace. The room was filled with applause, laughter, and pure happiness as the night continued with dancing, celebrations, and countless moments of love. As the wedding came to an end, Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun shared one last private moment under the stars. Hand in hand, they looked at each other with the kind of love that stories are written about. They knew that their journey was just beginning, but they were ready for everything that lay ahead. With hearts full of love and a future filled with endless possibilities, they walked forward together, as husband and wife, as best friends, and as soulmates. Their vows were more than just words spoken in a ceremony. They were a testament to the love they had built, the journey they had taken, and the life they would share. And for everyone who witnessed it, there was no doubt. Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun's love was something truly special, something that would last a lifetime. As the wedding celebration continued into the night, Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun found themselves surrounded by laughter, music, and the warmth of their loved ones. The couple moved through the reception hand in hand, taking moments to personally thank each guest for being a part of their special day. Every time their eyes met, there was a silent exchange of love, a reassurance that this was the happiest moment of their lives. After the cake was cut and another round of heartfelt toasts was given, the newlyweds decided to steal a quiet moment away from the crowd. They stepped out onto the garden terrace, where the soft glow of fairy lights surrounded them, creating a dreamy atmosphere. The night air was cool, but Lee Min-ho instinctively pulled Kim Go-eun closer, wrapping his arms around her to keep her warm. She leaned into his embrace, her head resting gently against his chest, as they listened to the distant sound of their guests celebrating inside. "This doesn't feel real," Kim Go-eun whispered, looking up at him with sparkling eyes. "I feel like I'm dreaming." Lee Min-ho chuckled softly, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "If this is a dream, I never want to wake up," he murmured, "because this right here is everything I've ever wanted." Kim Go-eun's heart swelled with emotion. She had always believed in love, but what she felt with Lee Min-ho was beyond anything she had ever imagined. He wasn't just her husband now, he was her home, her safe place, her forever. They stood in silence for a moment, simply enjoying the peace of being together. Then, with a teasing glint in his eyes, Lee Min-ho gently twirled her around before pulling her back into his arms. "One more dance?" he asked, grinning. There was no music playing, only the soft rustling of the trees and the distant hum of the celebration inside.